What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here today. So happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing well. So you guys see the title. I'm not gonna keep y'all too long today, y'all. But we're gonna jump into the topic. Make sure you guys chime in the chat. Make sure you chime in. Shout out to everybody in the building and everybody watching. Thank y'all so much for being here. Shout out to Alex. Alex in the building. Competitive, what's going on? How are you? Successful MD in the building, what's going on? Ryan Wetlow back again. John Baylor Jr., how are you? I am Alex again. Future King Lorenzo Redmond, what's going on? Fourth Dimension, it's just me. Q, what's going on? How you doing? And Frank G Life, what's good afternoon to you. I hope all is well with all of you guys. So thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all know what it is. As you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. What's going on, T Sweets? Thank you so much for being here as well. Happy good afternoon to you as well. As you come in, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. So we're going to get right into the video the live stream, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, before we get into the topic, if you're new in the building and you like the content, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, share the stream and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos or go live, right? We are streaming on Twitch and my second channel as well. If you haven't subscribed to the second channel, go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well. All right. What's going on, young Drip King, aka Drip King? I'll just say that because I can't pronounce that part. Thank you so much for being here. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, what is it? Pian Lamia, I don't know. Thank you so much for being here. I can't pronounce some of y'all names, but thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. All right. So I came across this clip that I want to share with you guys, and I definitely want y'all to chime in. I want to get y'all thoughts on this one. So this comes from the first clip. We're gonna jump right into it. Comes from Tabitha Brown. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tabitha and her husband Chance. They did a video that's gone viral about their marriage, and some people, there were different points of views made on that video. There were people who were saying, "Oh, see, they were never happy in a relationship, and only the money kept them together." And then, there was others who kind of understood, kind of take my thoughts about it, and being married a long time. I can kind of give a little bit of perspective on this. So I think they've been married. I know it's over 20 years. I know that 26 years, if I'm not mistaken. And they're still together, and they're able to talk about their experiences, that, the things that they went through. And I think she said they've been together since they were since she was 19. So they were young when they started out. And so they talk about a lot of the things that they went through in dating and marriage and all of that. And now they're still together after all these years to talk about it and reflect on it. And they're in a much better space. And I think that is why it is important to hear, from married people, because I think they can tell you, give their experience on how they made it to the other side, because so many people don't make it there. That's the thing. A lot of people in relationships, whether they're legally married or not, but a lot of people who are either just in long-term relationships or just relationships in general and marriages, a lot of times they don't make it because they don't know how to go through the rough patches. I talk about it all the time. Everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people think that marriage and relationships are supposed to be just a walk in the park. It's not. You definitely have to constantly work on it. It doesn't have to be tumultuous. It doesn't have to be, a toxic situation, but it definitely is going to take work in order for you to maintain any type of relationship. Between, any type of relationship, you have to maintain it. You can't go into it thinking it's a cakewalk. You don't have to put any effort. You don't have to put any work. And I think this is why married couples who have lasted and who are still there, I think it's important for them to speak out and talk about that, to let people know that, look, it's not about you getting your way all the time or the highway. It's not that. You have to work with the person that you're with. I don't know how many times I have to stress that. And I think people forget. People really think that a relationship is supposed to just be a person catering to you, doing everything that you want. And as long as everything is good and everything is going your way, you're good and the relationship is good. That's just unrealistic. And for so long, I think that's what a lot of, especially modern women, think that, oh, if the relationship doesn't serve me, if it doesn't give me what I think it should or what I believe or feel I deserve, then you're ready to walk away. And that is why a lot of women tend to leave the relationship, because they feel like it's useless to them. It's no, no reckoning, or no, you can't deal with it. You just want something better and you never find better. So that's what I want to talk about in this stream. And then we have I have a couple of more clips I want to share with you guys. And then we're going to be out of here, y'all. But make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you come in. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, you guys. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. And I didn't play the full video, of course, but I'm gonna put I want to put the original clip to their original video in the description, which I'll do that. So if you guys want to go and watch the full video, I'll put it in the description box. All right. So here we go.
I really think it was the temptation. Yeah, maybe for you, right? Because you were, as a young man. But I think if success had came that early, the temptation for me would have been, I'm more tempted to leave because I know I can survive on my own.
Yeah.
Right? There were times that we stayed together because we couldn't survive without each other. This is the truth. It won't love, it won't, it was like, dang, I can't afford to leave. We're gonna have to work it out.
We stuck.
And throughout that.
Now, that's the part that got a lot of women, up in arms. A lot of women were like, well, see, the only reason they're together is because they couldn't afford to leave. And that's what basically she's saying. Look, there were times, or what did I hit the wrong track, y'all. But what she's saying is they were going through a time in their relationship where it was bad. It was bad. And, she may, and the way she put it, she probably would have been the one that would have left if she had the financial means to do so. That's how bad it was at the time. So she's talking about their experience early on in their relationship where it was, where they were married, where it was a mess. But I'm gonna let her say more, and then I'll just, bring it all back. Here we go.
Time we just fell back in love.
Yeah.
But there were times when we absolutely were not in love with each other. We loved each other, but being in love is completely different.
Yes.
There were times we did not like each other. There was times that you wouldn't even know we was married.
Yep. Walking by each other.
But we could not afford to leave each other.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you couldn't even afford to be tempted.
So what if, but with that being said, when you say that, if you throw temptations right in the mix of that.
Yeah.
Where like y'all on one of them seasons in your marriage where it's like, hey, I don't like him. And I don't even know if I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
And then temptation comes knocking on the door.
So I'm like I was about to sneeze. Go ahead.
That goes hand in hand what I said at the start of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You have those moments. We have less of those moments now, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
But what I know now at 45 that I did not know at 25 is how to eliminate the possibility of temptation coming in during those moments.
Yeah.
And life teaches you that. So, and that's what I was getting at when I was saying, like, it's how you set yourself up. If you are exploring the places where temptation can present itself and you don't understand that marriage is those ups and downs, those seasons where it's like, hey, look, we ain't on the same accord, and you still going to locations where temptation is right there to fulfill something, or you're going to a place to where you could be subject to it.
You're setting yourself up.
Then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Now, the whole topic that they were talking about was about temptation and how you know, being married, you eliminate the possibilities of temptation by not putting yourself in that position. And look, it's somewhere in the Bible it speaks to that. I don't know exactly where. Maybe you guys know about temptation, how you remove yourself from that. You don't place yourself or put yourself in a position to be tempted. Now, and that makes sense. But you know, they're talking about, they've been together, I think she said, since they were together or dating when she was 19, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been together a long time. I think I previously heard them talk about they were together, they broke up. You know, there were many times she talked about this and said how she wanted to go back home with her daddy, and you know, it just wasn't working out. But somehow they stayed the course, because deep down, this is why I say too, you have to have core values that will, you know, and real love for the person. Let's be real. You got to have core values in place and real love for that person overall. Even though it look crazy and you might like, he getting on my nerves and this is just not going to work out. We arguing all the time. You got, you know, it's got to be real love there and real, you know, something that's real there. It can't be based off of superficial things, because you would be out the door. And then most women think, you know, hey, if it's not working the way I need it to work, they ready to bounce anyway. So that I understand what she said. That's why I get why she said, oh, if she had money, she don't think she would have been there. She'd been like, okay, I could, you know, I got money. I don't need to be here. I can go on and maybe do better. That's how a lot of women think. So this is why, and if we fast forward to now in modern society, a lot of women are like, nah, I'm not dealing with nothing because I can take care of myself. I don't need to depend on a man. I have my own money. I can take care of myself. I don't have to deal with anything. But that's where they also get it twisted, because the thing about it, yes, you can take care of yourself financially, but you're still going to have to go through some shit. It's not like you're not going to go through anything. Your money is not going to mean anything when it comes to actually making a relationship work. See, that's where I think people get it twisted. They realize that when they realize that, it's too late. You know, I think something about couples who've been married for 20 plus years and been married, you know, in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Are married from that point on to now and still married. They've gone through it. They've learned themselves. And then I don't know, they talk more about, you know, learning themselves and growing and all of that. A lot of people think that that's something they're supposed to do or have to do by themselves, but you don't. And of course, as you know, when you're with somebody young, you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a lot of experience. You grow but you grow together. It's a lot. But I like the way how candid they are about their relationship, and I like the fact that they give people the real deal, the nitty gritty of marriage. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't give you this fake, you know, stuff like, oh, we, you know, and I'm not saying that certain people's relationships aren't great. I think far too often people tend to think that, oh, they already think negatively about relationships and marriage. They already think that if you've been married for a long time, that it was hell on wheels. But they only think that the man gave the woman hell, when it's two. It's not just one. You know, they both were going through some stuff together, having to figure things out together. It's not, they like to put it all on a man, but it's never just the one person. They're both in there with certain issues with each other. It's not just the man. So people don't really understand what it takes to have a successful relationship, nor do they really want to go through what they would have to go through in order to get that and also maintain it and be able to talk about it years later like they're doing. You know, I don't think people nowadays are ready for that. They don't want to have to go through anything. And once again, it doesn't mean that it's toxic. It doesn't mean that it has to be horrible. And that just depends on each person's situation or relationship, because everybody's relationship is not the same. You know, some relationships, some marriages, there was infidelity in them, you know, and they've overcome that and they was able to stay together. Some marriages, there's no infidelity. It's just the personalities clash at times, or you just never know what it is. But people tend to make the worst out of it, and it's not always that. But regardless to what it is, If you made a vow to that person, you committed to that person, you say for better or worse, to sickness, health, to death do us part, no, good, bad, ups, whatever. That's the commitment that you made before that person and God. And for people who are spiritual, you would think that they would get that. But a lot of people claiming spiritual, they're spiritual and they believe in God. They don't care about them vows when it comes to that. They don't care about how they made a vow before God and that's what they were committed to do and vowed that they would. That goes out the window when they don't get their way. So it's a lot. I don't think marriage is for everybody. I don't think everybody will be able to do it. I don't think some people are able to commit to one person for the rest of their life. I don't think that everybody is able to do that. I don't think so. I had to think about that a while back. I don't think everybody want to do that or is able to do it. So I don't think it's for everybody. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says, what is her definition of bad? I'm curious. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. Let's continue.
If you think that every marriage is supposed to be 26 years of, can't believe you said there was a point where you didn't love me, then I don't believe.
You ain't living in truth.
You ain't
we telling you y'all the truth.
Yeah, you ain't understanding what this thing
we
is.
We were together since we were 19, right? Before we even knew who we were.
What?
Right? I ain't know who I was. He didn't know who he was. So we didn't even get to know who each other was because how am I know him if he don't know him? Right? I did.
But you think you know who you are.
I thought I did, right?
You think you know. And you think you know what you want.
But I think that in that early age, to your point, if success had came and we had money to do whatever we wanted to do, do I think some type of way we could have found our way back to each other? Maybe, we'll never know.
Yeah.
But I do know without money, I was often tempted to go back home. I was often tempted to be like, dang, I could go back home to North Carolina. I could go back to my dad's house, or I could figure it out, in my mind, in the back of my head, like, man. Because family is also temptation. Safety is temptation. But they also can dilute make it messy, your relationship, if you let them in. And so, even though I was tempted to I'm gonna just call my daddy. I'm gonna call my mama, right? When those times were so bad, I didn't even fall into that temptation. Now, did I call and maybe complain or talk about stuff and gratefully
talk straight trash about me?
Had somebody to talk me down off the ledge in many of those seasons. So I was able to avoid everything I was thinking. Not saying mistakes, but decisions of just quitting altogether.
So that's just a snippet of it, you guys. I put the link to the full video if you guys are interested in watching their full video to go see more in depth of what they're talking about. But, I've followed her for quite some time and I've listened to her, her conversations and stuff. And like I said, they're always real. They tell you about what they've been through. They're here 26 years later to talk about it. They're in a good place, talked about how, they were going through it. I mean, any couple that you've seen who are still married to this day, and that have been together more than 20 years, they tend to say some very similar things. I said that before. It's very, very similar. Some differences, but a lot of it, for the most part, is very similar. A lot of them talk about, look, you got to communicate. You got to work together. None of this superficial stuff. You got to be real. You got to know what it is that you want. You know what I mean? You got to communicate to each other. You got to, things aren't always going to be great. But, you got to get through them. You got to support each other in the rough times and the good times. And you got to be there. Forgiveness, compromise. They talk about the same stuff over and over, the basic things of what makes a marriage work. It's the same stuff. It's not rocket science. It's not nothing new. But if you are with somebody that you really love and you really care about and you want to be there, you made that commitment to that person on some real stuff, not just some BS, then to me, overall, that's the foundation of what keeps you there. No matter what you go through, even when you want to feel, or you feel like you want to leave, you stay because you know overall you have a good person. You know you love this person. You know you really want to be with them. It's just it's just a hard, rocky moment or whatever. And all relationships go through it, no matter what it is. And you get through it and you do it together and you grow together and you can talk about it like they're talking about it, 26 years later. So, and what that looks like for each couple is different. Like I say, every relationship isn't the same. So everybody is not the same. They have to deal with whatever it is they're dealing with. Successful MD says being loose early in life will defy marriage. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Now I want to, something else I wanted to mention. I forgot what it was. Yeah, and I will say this. I think I think it was Lorenzo said modern women don't care about vows. They don't. A lot of modern women don't really care about that. They just trying to get to the bag. It's desperate times, and desperate times calls for desperate measures, child. So they ain't really trying to do all this commitment and years with one man. No, they trying to get to the bag, get to the D, and whoever got the D, that's gonna, that want them, and then go give them a bag. That's all they trying to get, child. A lot of these women don't have the patience or the wherewithal or the know-how of how to be in a marriage for years like that. A lot of these young women nowadays, they're not, and I mean, I think there are a lot of men who aren't really into marriage at this point, but we know why, because they understand the system and they don't want to be, taken for granted. So I understand that, but a lot of these women are not marriage material. It takes, honestly, I think it takes a certain type of person or individuals who are able to stay in a relationship or a marriage with one person and be there till the end, and 26 years, that's a long time and going. So by the time, Lord spare, y'all able to get old, and it's going to be more years. So to me, I think it takes certain types of individuals who are able to really stay the course for real till death do you part. Because look at Judge Mathis's wife. It's like women are the ones that really leave. So, and it don't matter if you 60, 70, if y'all you could still potentially leave the marriage. So, I really think it takes a person to have patience and really love the person. Because if you care about them and overall, like I said, they're not a bad person, they're a good person, and you really care about them, you compromise, you work things out. I don't think that you should be in a relationship with somebody who's just dogging you out. No. But a lot of times it's not even that. A lot of times it's not somebody dogging you out. It's usually different. It's just the issues. Like I said, you would be surprised how many people leave marriages based on crazy reasons. Leave marriages because they just tired. They just tired of working with you. They just tired of seeing you. And I think it was an interesting thing that they talked about. What they went through, how they went through the moments of not liking each other. She said you wouldn't even recognize that they were married. They didn't like each other. They fell out of love is what she actually said. And, Michelle Obama said something similar, how she couldn't stand her husband for years. These are I listened to Judge Lynn Toller. She talked about it as well, about how they would argue and they had to go to counseling because it was to the point where they didn't like each other, where they didn't speak to each other, and they were like, it's about to be a wrap because this is too much. And this is why I try to tell people, I don't know where this idea that a relationship or marriage or whatever is supposed to be this cakewalk the whole time, where whatever you say, this man just do it, and we're just so, hun, oh babe, oh my God, we're just so, and I'm not saying, because there are couples that are happy, they're truly, genuinely happy, but they still go through shit. It go through stuff, it's not, I don't understand this fairy tale that a lot of these people think a marriage or a relationship should be. You're human, you're gonna make mistakes, y'all not gonna agree on things. You're going to want to do one thing. She's going to want to do something else. Y'all going to clash at times. It's just being a human being. The same way you clash with your relatives or you clash with coworkers or clash with anybody. It's no different when you're in a relationship, but you figure it out. It shouldn't be a drag out, knockout fight every time y'all disagree, but there are definitely going to be disagreements. There are going to be things that y'all going to fight about or, and this is why I say, look, sometimes when it's the two of you, it's good. But when you start incorporating children and you start incorporating, other things and things start to change, because there will be changes. There are stages in a marriage. It's not all the same. Things change. There's stages to it. You got to be open and prepared for that. You got to understand that I committed to this person that I love. I'm committed. So we're going to get through whatever. You got to have that mindset. You can't go into it thinking, oh, well, if she do this, I'm out. Or if he do this, I'm out. No, you think that. But if you ever happen to go through some of those things, you'll realize it ain't that simple to just get out. Nor do you really want to leave. You know what I'm saying? You really care. We're going to figure this out. So, that's just that. But Paul Harrison, thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Says, hey, DeeDee, continuing to show love and support. I must be getting old. I can't see myself getting on these sites, spilling all my marital business to the world. I'm telling you, DeeDee, I'm getting one of those AI dolls. Oh, no, not the AI dolls. Shame me if you will. It's a new day, LOL. Please. Oh, my God. Not the AI doll, Paul. Don't do it. Do you really need it? Thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Child, that's thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you, Paul. But yeah, I try to tell people, especially women, listen, you don't look, if you don't think that you're going to be able to work with a man, and if you don't think that you're going to be able to compromise, if you don't think that you're in it you can be in it for the long haul, just don't do it. I'd rather you not even do it. Don't get in a relationship with a man who wants marriage and wants commitment and all these things. And when you get mad, you ready to leave. Just don't do it. Don't put him through that, or don't put anybody through that. Like I said, everybody is not meant for everybody to be married. Marriage, you're supposed to take it seriously. And a lot of times nowadays, people don't take it seriously. It's just something you do. It's a formality. It's a party. It's a way to celebrate. It's a party, one big party. You want a big wedding. You want to show off to your girlfriends. You want to look good and dance and do all of that stuff. But you don't put as much effort as you did in the party aspect of it, as than you need to put into the actual relationship. I like to tell women this: look, when you get married or you're in a relationship, especially when you get married, though, because that's when you make that commitment to that person that you hear through it all. So if you want to do that, understand that it's more than just the party. When you get married, that's the beginning. The honeymoon phase is short-lived. When you first get married, and I think they said something to the effect of, I don't know where I saw this, but I saw it a while ago, that the first 3 to 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, y'all, something like that. The first 3 to 5 years or 7 years or something like that, is the hardest part of when being married. Once you get over the honeymoon phase, and then y'all get to the living together, you got your household together and doing all that. They're saying, I read somewhere that the first 3 to 5 years or 3 to 6 years or something like that is the hardest years. And I think that is because, when you're in a dating phase and you're dating the person and y'all, you got your own place, she got her own place, and y'all just dating and y'all hanging out or whatever and getting to know each other, that's all great because y'all have not combined homes. Once you're married and you're living in the same household and y'all bringing y'all lives together to create your own, it's often the most difficult part of marriage. That's what they're saying. And I could see why, because you got to remember, as much as you've already dated, the person, y'all know each other. Actually putting your lives together is a process in itself. So now you're taking this person who actually thinks a certain way. You think a certain way. Y'all have core values that y'all agree upon, but there are certain things where y'all differ. And when you actually start to live that out and try to create something together, it could be a bit difficult. So while people think, oh, the honeymoon phase is great, it is right after, then it starts to look a little weird. Now you realizing what this person is like. And so, and they do certain things this way. They don't do it the way you do it. And you're looking at them like, wow, I didn't know he did this, or I didn't know she did that. Oh, it's just actually doing it. You realize certain things. And so sometimes people clash. And this is why some people think it's better to live with the person first and see how they are and all of that before you get married. I just think that, it's the little things that cause people to think that they shouldn't be doing this. It's like some things that irritate them. Do you honestly think that the person that you're with, there's nothing about them that may irritate you, or there's nothing that they do that you're like, oh my God, I don't like that. That's just being human and that real. Like, there are things that your spouse might do that works your nerves, but you ain't screaming and yelling and getting mad at them for it. You just like, oh my God, I can't stand that, but you keep it moving on because you love them. But oh my God, that's just what it is. But the way people go about relationships now, they don't talk about that. They talk about it like it's, he got to be perfect. You can be 400 pounds, but he got to be perfect. He got to meet all of your everything, your criteria, everything that you want. He got to have cute toes. And men too want women with cute toes. If she don't have cute toes, it's a wrap. If her feet ain't right, it's a wrap. And I'm just like, okay, you worried about feet, child? She can get them feet kind of, she can make them feet look kind of cute, I guess, depending on how bad they are. She might work on that. But if she got other qualities, you worried about the feet, child? Unless you got a foot fetish, that, that's the least of your worries, in my opinion. But I know the people with the foot fetishes, they need cute feet. That's a deal breaker, So that's that. But child, I think there's more things you should be concerned about than just that. That's just my opinion. But yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this other clip because I have an audio of Tyrese talking about this as well, and I want to know your thoughts on this one, of what he had to say. Do I have the clip? Hold on, let's see. Hold on, let me pull up the clip, you guys. I thought I had it here. Here we go.
Now here that are singing are trying to convince everybody in the world that they hate men, they don't need a man, they don't want a man, they don't desire a man, and that they can do bad all by themselves. Nobody wants to go home. Here's the memo. And I want the word. Do me a favor. Editor, whoever the editor, what's your editor name?
Well, CJ Company handles that. CJ.
Okay, that sounds fancy. Okay. So look, whoever your editor is, I want you to put the bouncing ball under this, okay? Here's a memo to all of the beautiful women in the world, whether you've been celibate 5, 10 years, whether you have seen other women go through divorces, or you've been through a divorce yourself. Here's the bouncing ball that I want them to add in post-production. Nobody needs to go home to a poodle and a vibrator. Nobody needs to be alone. Nobody should be alone. This concept of being alone is bullshit, because most of your favorite female singers that are out here singing this song are going home to their man, their fiance, or their husband. Whether you know it or not, that's on you. You believe that toxic ass shit. That's why you're filling up the arenas with it. Nobody wants to be alone, sir. No man. This is biblical. Companionship. Look it up, non-biblical people. So I was not devastated when my divorce ended because I wanted someone or something to be with me. I got married because I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. Because I loved the way I felt and what I had in my marriage and my family. It became a world within a world within a world. And it was a world that I had never experienced prior to that. Honeymoon, love, beauty, magic, everything, my brother. Fucking up there with the Care Bears. Floating, bruh. My God. Some shit that...
It was everything that you thought it would be.
I'm saying some shit right now that's so foreign. Like, what is it? If you get rid of the vibrator and the poodle, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Marriage, some other shit, my brother. Oh my. Don't get it fucked up. But she could leave me all she wants. I was devastated and crushed. Specifically, I let God down. You see?
Now let me pause it there. So I think he's telling the truth. I mean, I think a lot of, because this is what I notice. A lot of people, specifically women, always, because they're the most vocal. Women are the most vocal. That's just what it is. So women are always saying, look, I don't need a man. I can do bad by myself, basically. You know, I make my own money. I got my own this. I got my own that. I want one, but I don't really need one. And they make that very clear. And the thing, but they want one. But if he doesn't have X, Y, and Z, which mostly is superficial things, then he's not an option. So you look over otherwise good men because they don't make 100,000 a year, or they're not tall. You know, automatically, if he's short, if he, you know, don't make a certain amount of money, if you don't have this, you don't have that, then you exclude him off of that list. So you're not even he's invisible to you. So you're looking for a certain type of man, a certain quality of man based off of solely looks, and you have a hard time finding it. So they go and complain and say, oh, there's no men out here. And then they convince themselves that they won't settle. Now, Purple Butterfly said, no one wants to be alone, but is it worth being in a toxic relationship to avoid loneliness? People need to learn themselves first. And I think the thing is, because people are so focused on superficial aspects of relationships, they're going to render themselves single anyway. You know, you could have a good person. You could meet a good guy who has great qualities for relationships, but physically, superficially, he doesn't meet up to your list. And this is why a lot of women will stay single, because they're looking for something so specific, but something specific that doesn't even match with what will give them a stable, loving relationship. Let me say that again. The thing that a lot of women are looking for is not conducive to a healthy, stable, loving relationship or marriage. They're looking for things that would even if you got married or even if you got in a relationship, you would walk away still. So when we talk about toxicity and toxic relationships, a lot of the traits that a lot of these women are presenting is toxic. A lot of these women are the toxic ones. They always talk about the men being toxic. The men don't have masculine features, or he's not masculine. He doesn't have emotional intelligence. We're looking at it as if the men are all the problem, when in fact, a lot of these women are the actual toxic ones they speak of, because they don't know how to be in relationships, and they're going off of this sisterhood, this idea that this is what men should be and this is what a relationship should look like, and they're totally wrong. And so if by them going off of that, they can't stay in a relationship, because every relationship they get in, they're looking for something specific, and if it doesn't have that, they walk away and still keep saying they will not settle. They will not settle. The problem is, because listen, people always talk about, oh, you need to come into a relationship fully whole. How many times do y'all think that really happens? Let's just be honest. Let's be 100% honest. How many times you think that people are coming into a relationship, they don't with no issues? They've all healed from a lot of these women have never gone to the root of their trauma in their childhood, and they never went to their mothers and talked and hashed it out. They never went to therapy. A lot of these women are walking around with mental disorders. They have not figured it out, as well as men now. There are men around here who have toxic issues and toxic mental disorders. They have not sorted out their pasthood, their childhood trauma, or any of that. How many people do you think are really coming together, fully whole, fully together, and they don't have no issues? That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic, because all of this stuff is fairly new. This is fairly new when it comes to getting therapy and working on yourself. Because back in the day, nobody was doing that. Those people had issues. They had to go through real racism and all of the things, Jim Crow and all of that stuff. And they were married at a higher rate then, because, this takes me back to what Tabitha said. They were broke. They couldn't, they needed each other. They had to rely on each other to support each other to work it through. And nowadays that's looked at in a negative way. It's almost looked at as if that's a problem. Like you shouldn't want to depend on each other. It's almost looked at like that's a problem to be able to have two people together who are dependent on each other to get ahead. And now, the way things are going, it's forcing people to have to do it or struggle by yourself. We talk about inflation and everything, all this that's happening. You have women complaining about they can't handle mortgages and they can't pay this and they're struggling with this in everyday life. You need to now you want somebody to come in and help you with the things, because it's going to get back to that point probably where you need to make a whole lot of money. You need to be rich, or you need to have two people maintaining a household. But somebody has told these women, allowed them to make a little money, and they went to their heads and they're like, well, I don't need you. I could do this because you can buy little stuff here and there. And you made some money at one point in time. Now you feel like you don't need nobody. You can do it all by yourself, but you want somebody. So I think the idea of marriage and relationships is warped. What people think a relationship should be is very superficial and not realistic at all. But they're looking for this, and this is why they can't find it, because it doesn't exist. The idea of working with a man is just obsolete to a lot of these women. So that's why you're going to be without a man. Paul Harrison, once again, thank you for the super chat, says, if marriage is your choice, I suggest getting married around 25 years or older. That way you're still young and you can go through that figuring it out process. After 55 years old, AI, baby, you're stuck in your ways and there's no room for change. I agree with that. I think that we talked about this before. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you. The older you get, you've created your life a certain way. You live in a certain way, and you don't want nobody to come in and alter that. That goes for women and men. The longer you're by yourself, and you've created a certain way of living, and you're comfortable with that, it is going to be very difficult for somebody else to come in and alter what you've already created. That's both men and women. A lot of women, they've already had their children. They've already established their livelihood. They've established how they want their household to run. Even if they're struggling to do it, they're doing it. And they want a man to come in and just fit in. They don't want him to change nothing. They like it the way it is. They just want him to come in and contribute financially. And I think that's when it comes to the men, that's where some men might have a problem, because they're like, wait a minute, I want to live a certain way too. So how can we bridge the gap? How can we come in and compromise to make this cohesive for everybody? So, but a lot of times women are like, look, I just want you to, without really saying it, they really just want a man to come in and help them with them damn bills. They don't really want him coming in telling the kids anything. They don't want to come in and trying to take over. And especially if it's a woman with children, those children are used to a certain lifestyle. They're used to a certain way. They're not even comfortable with the man coming in and trying to, lead the situation. So that's going to be a problem. So I do think the longer you're single, the longer you're doing it all by yourself, the older you get, it's going to be very difficult for somebody to come in. So that's why I think this growing process that you go through when you're married young or married young, I think that's just a part of it. That's a part of it, and a lot of people leave, like Tia Mowry, leave her marriage thinking that she got to go find herself. Honey, you didn't have to leave your husband to find yourself. What you're trying to do is go find something you think you missed out on, because she was married relatively young. So she thinks she missed out on something. So you go and look for something you think you missed out when there was nothing you missed out on. You had what you needed, and you grew and you built with your husband, and that's where you're supposed to stay. What do you think you're going to go out here and find at this point? 40 something years old? No, your expectations are higher. You're looking for something you felt you missed, and you don't fully know exactly what it is, but you know it's something because that's what you feel. And then by the time she end up realizing that there's nothing out there, she's gonna either been through several dudes and still end up single. And I guarantee you, her husband, once he's gotten through this little phase, ex-husband, he's gonna probably remarry because he didn't leave. He wanted his family. I wouldn't be surprised if this man remarries and have another child and be living his life, and then she's gonna still be stuck trying to find herself by herself and regretting her decision. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you, sir. Let's continue.
I didn't promise her anything.
But you can't make somebody stay where they don't want to be.
Father God, I love you and I trust you.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, sickness and health, for better, for worse, till death do us part.
Yep.
Along with all the other words. That's not God's opinion. That is the word of God. I gave God my word. And neither one of us are dead. So where the fuck are you at? See, I'm thinking that what's going to happen? Karma. She left me, yes. And this is not a narcissist saying you should have stayed with somebody that you didn't want to stay with, irregardless of being married or not. That's that toxic ass narrative for all of that community.
You know, listen, love him or hate him, Tyrese, because Tyrese be all over the place sometimes. He's got a good point there. He's making a good point. I mean, you know, and I think that more men understand the seriousness of marriage than a lot of women. Let's be honest. A lot of women are entitled and they feel they react to their feelings and their emotions. So they do things that are emotionally unstable. And they make decisions based off of their feelings and emotions, and usually they're not the right choices to make. But they don't want to admit to it because a lot of women hate accountability. So you don't want to admit that you made a mistake. You try to justify it and put it on him. Oh, he was just bad. He made me do it. And then you keep repeating that, and then you never come out with the right outcome you think you should or deserve or feel you should have. But you don't want to change it because that would say, oh, yeah, you messed up. You don't want to admit to it. So it's like nothing but excuses. And you keep doing the same thing. And then instead of it complaining about the outcome. So you can't put that all on men. At some point, you got to take accountability and realize that, hey, maybe he wasn't the only one that was toxic. Maybe he wasn't all bad by himself. Maybe you had a part to play in it too. Maybe you learned some bad behavior from your upbringing. You know, maybe you haven't healed all of your trauma also. Maybe you're still dealing with some trauma and it's all coming out in the relationship. Maybe the both of you got some issues that you haven't resolved. So if you really want the relationship, why don't you, that's why they have couples therapy and marriage counseling and things like that. Why don't y'all try to work together? You know what I mean? To resolve your issues, find ways to work through your issues and get to a better place, because there is a better place. To me, nothing that's worth something to you, anything that's worth something, and anything that's that you value, it's going to take work to maintain it. Anything that you got to put in work. You can't expect to have something great without putting in the work. You can't expect to have everything that you want without the work. It's like you want the benefits and you want the rewards of relationships and a man and everything else, but you don't want to put in the work. It's never going to work without you putting in the work. It's not going to work if you sitting back not working it. If you're not putting anything into it, you just can't sit back and think just the idea of having a relationship or having a man is enough. No, there's something that you got to put into it. You got to realize your part in it. Successful MD says, who takes the biggest risk in marriage? I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, if we're looking at the way marriage is nowadays, it's the men, because a lot of men go into, how y'all say, men marry. It's a saying that a lot of people use. I don't know it completely, but I know it when I see it. Men marry for love and women marry for what? Convenience, or or something like that. I don't know. Y'all tell me. But a lot of women go into the marriage for the wrong reasons. Now, there are men who want to get married for the wrong reasons too. And every man that's getting married, it's not like he got money or he has anything to lose. Let's be honest. So if a man wants to marry a woman, you know, and he's in it for the wrong reasons, whatever that might be. I mean, every man is not out here with a whole bunch of money. Because I think if we look at it nowadays, there are a lot of men who stand more to lose, in my opinion, because women are looking for men with money who are you know, have money and have things. And if you marry a woman and you have that, you've established yourself, he has everything to lose because she'll try to weaponize his children. If you got children, weaponize the children against them. She's going to try to take half of what he's worked for his entire life. She's going to do things that's going to really undermine and manipulate the situation to get the most that she can get out of it, because she don't really care at this point. She's trying to get to the bag. She wants the kids to hate him. She wants to try to take everything from him because she's mad. That's typically what women do when they get mad. So, yeah, definitely the man. But at the same time, there are men who you might marry a woman and you ain't got much, and she loved you and she said, I want to marry you still, and you marry her, you don't have much. Every man is not out here walking around stable and has money and has all these things. There's really nothing that she could in that case, if she's the breadwinner, but she loves him and she's not superficial and she's not marrying him for money because he ain't got none, but she's like, okay, let's do this together. I love you enough and I'm gonna be with you. I don't see that. A lot of that's not happening these days, but it does occur. But if it's that situation, what I mean, there's nothing for him to lose in that case. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the situation. But if we're gonna go through the majority, yeah, I think the majority of men who have worked on themselves and established themselves, yes, they have the most to lose for sure, without a doubt. So yeah, and I think women try to say, oh, marriage only benefits the man and not the woman. Now I don't agree with that. I think it does I think it benefits the women because if you're out here as a woman, like I said before, and you're looking for a man with all these qualities, then you are the one who's benefiting. You want a man to come in and change your entire life, then of course you're benefiting from that. You're going to benefit the most because you're looking for somebody who has more than what you have so that you can benefit from it. Successful MD says, when you work for things, you appreciate it. Exactly. You know, and that's a fact. I mean, we already know you could spoil people, give them everything that they want, and they don't appreciate it, and they just want more and more and more. So that's a fact. Successful MD. You know, so yeah, I think that to me, there's no one size fits all when it comes to relationships. It depends on the individuals. There's no cookie cutter rule of how to have a successful relationship or marriage. Yes, we know that there are hyenas out here. We know that there are horrible women, but there are horrible men too. There are horrible people, let's just say that, in the world. There are people who are out to manipulate and use folks, men and women. There are people out here who don't have the best of intentions in what they're trying to do, with men and women. There are people out here who just are not good people, both men and women, who don't care. They don't want to. There are men who don't want to commit to women. There are men who've had good women and they didn't commit to them. They just don't want to do it for whatever reason. They're fearful. They talked about what's his name? What is his name? Damn. Nick Cannon and the other guy. How, you know, they don't really want to commit. Some men are fearful of it. They don't want to do it. There are men who've admittedly said that they had good women. They had a good woman in their life, but they weren't ready to commit to her. And she was a good woman. Probably was the one they should have married. There are men who've admitted that on my live stream. And so they realized that. And, you know, so just like there are women who've admitted that they've met good guys and good men back in, and they passed up on these guys because they weren't ready, or they thought it was corny or whatever. So, you know, it really just depends, you know, as much as we see all the craziness on social media, and it is crazy. Don't get me wrong. It's crazy. You really can't fully base what your experience would be or your outcome would be based on that. You really got to just meet the person. You got to meet people. You got to talk to folks. You got to get to know somebody and really see what their mind is like and where their head is at. And you go from there. So there's no one size fits all for relationships and marriage. It's about the individuals that you come in contact with, the person that you are willing to, take the chance on. It depends on the people, because, there's no one size fits all to any of this. You got to do what works for you. And if you can find somebody who's on your program and who's down with you and okay with what it is that you're looking for and what you want, then boom, there you go. You probably would have a winning situation. But it just can't be determined based off of just hypotheticals. We can give you that. I think there are some core values and core things that you need when it comes to relationships. But at the same time, everybody's relationship is different, because what they require in their marriage or what they want in their marriage looks different from what me and my husband, what we have going on. Everybody's, and what works for us versus what works for the next married person or the next person. What works for them works for them. Some people are in these polyamorous relationships, and that worked for them. If that worked for you and y'all thriving, kudos to you. That wouldn't work over here, because that's not how we set up. So it just depends. That's how I look at it. Paul Harrison coming through once again with the generous super chat. I appreciate you, Paul. Says, in today's society, the one who has the most assets would have the most to lose. The level of high in friends and connections, be it male or female, you take the biggest risk in marriage. Right, exactly. And I think that's how I was trying to say it. I think the one who, because that's what people focus on. You know what I mean? Everybody's focused on money, who you are, they focus on, all of these superficial things. And I'm really not, and I'm not saying, because look, I'm already, I got a man, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying that money and things don't matter, but I think everybody is focused on today is that, all you hear is, I need to get to the bag. He got to have six figures. And I'm just like, okay, what if he had 89,000? What if he had 99? It got to be over 100,000. Like, I just think the it's unrealistic. And I think the focus is really off of what's most important. I'm not saying literally go get somebody that's broke, but when a lot of these women, not all, talk about broke, I mean, they talking about working men, a lot of these women. Not all of them, but a lot of these women, they talking about a man who has a 9-to-5 making decent money. They consider that broke because he might not make six figures. I don't look at it like that. I look at it, I'm talking about somebody broke. To me is somebody who ain't got nothing. You don't have no money, you have no resources, you have nothing, literally nothing. And I'm not saying that anybody should just, now that's when you would be settling, just go grab any man just to have a man, no matter if he's homeless or what. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's more to a relationship and how you maintain one than just the six figures and, he got to be perfect and all this. No, that is no, because you're dealing with two flawed people. Both of y'all are imperfect. You're not perfect, but women, I must say, a lot of women speak as if though they're perfect. And then when men start calling out their flaws, because I've been seeing that lately. I've been seeing videos of men just telling these women, I don't like your toes. I don't like your wig. Your wig is whack. Then they get highly offended. But y'all could call out the men and say how, point out things that you don't like about him. But men can't call it out about you. It just shows you that, hey, if you got smoke for him, then he got smoke for you. There's things he could point out about you just like you point out about him, which ultimately lets you know, hey, you're not perfect either. You're not walking around here without any flaws and so perfect to be calling out men and making it seem like all men are just horrible. And then when they pointed the mirror back at you, you don't like it. So that's one thing, the superficial idea of a relationship, this flawless mentality, like you're perfect and you're not. All of that is causing major issues when it comes to women get men, because they walk around like they're the best thing since sliced bread, not realizing that you are flawed too. If the men are flawed, so are you. Instead of saying, look, let's take our two flawed butts together. Let's say, I like you, you like me. Hey, we have certain things in common. Hey, we're flawed. Hey, I'm this way. Take accountability. Look, I'm not the best communicator, or, I don't know certain things or whatever. But you know what? We willing to do it. Let's get together. Let's work it out. Let's figure it out. What's so hard about that? People don't want to do that anymore. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's just crazy. That's just my perspective. That's my thoughts on it, my 2 cents on it. Johnson, a lot of this nonsense comes from TikTok. What the truth is, TikTok is just high school for adults. Child, it does seem like that. TikTok does seem like that. I just think that it's all backwards. It's all off. For people who really want serious relationships, because a lot of these women, honestly, I don't see people taking it as seriously as they as they should. For the ones who really want, real serious, solid relationships, and really want to build with the man. A lot of these women, I think they don't think it's worth it. They don't think it's worth it. They don't, because they don't want to put in the work. What I'm saying is like tiresome to me. Like, oh, girl, shit, we don't want to do all that. We just try to get to the bag. That's what some of them say. Like, girl, I ain't got time for all that. You don't have time for what I'm saying. But as you get older and you feel like you're more settled and you want to settle down, now you want all of that. But you still don't want to do the work. You want him ready-made. You want him to come to the table with it all figured out. And that's just unrealistic. That really is. And then for the women who are educated and have established themselves financially, they want a perfect man too. They want a man who makes more than them. I'm like, how unrealistic is that going to be? And then even if you got a man who made more than you're not prepared for him mentally, spiritually, none of these ways. You're not really ready. You're just thinking the money is the end all be all. And it's not. It's not. And I don't understand. I see so many examples of that. And it's like some people don't get it. Some people don't get it. It's like, come on, that's not the only thing that matters. There are way more important things that would matter in a relationship other than just money. What's up, Brianne? How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Says, well, shout out to you. Wish this was a cat on a Cash App for DeeDee, because YouTube will take this 60%, unfortunately. Thank you, Brianne. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, love. Shout out to her. It's just crazy though. Thank you. Let's move on, y'all.
I didn't know it was going to take all of this. Game time. Let me try to figure this out. Let me try to see if I can do this and do that and get the card and do this, love her more and balance all this. Women, we meet you and we're like, our idea and our fairy tale is you are Prince Charming, honey. And then we try to get you to fit Prince Charming. And the more you don't fit it, the more y'all end up in my office going, but he doesn't do this. Well, has he ever did it? No, but I always just thought my husband would. Your husband or this man? So are you getting to know who you with? Or are you making this man fit this fairy tale ideology that doesn't even exist anyways?
Now, this is a clip that I saw because this is not the one that went viral. This is not the one that went viral where she's saying women basically have this unrealistic idea of what a man should be, this fairy tale idea of what a man should be. This one didn't go viral because the girls would not have liked it. You know what I mean? The hyenas probably would not have liked this because this is making them accountable. This woman kind of she's giving, this part of the clip didn't go viral. And I know why, because the things that they don't like, you don't speak to that, or you don't want to see that, or you speak against it. But there is some truth to it. It's a fairy tale, and we know it. We talk about it all the time. Fairy tale aspect of what you think a relationship should be. If it don't serve me, if it ain't perfect, if he ain't got everything that I think he should have, if he's not willing to come in and just take me on and change my life and give me this fancy lifestyle and just pay for everything and just treat me like a queen and just do all of this stuff, they don't want you. Something wrong with it. It's a red flag. You could be just as ghetto as you want to be, 1,000 pounds if you want to be, just ratchet, just don't know how to communicate a problem. But you want this man to come in and deal with you. They tell you clear as day what they're looking for. They want somebody to take care of them. They want a rich man who's just going to just cater to them and take care of them. That's it. And they don't have to lift a finger. That's what they want. So that wouldn't require them to have to work on anything, have to change anything, have to do nothing. Just you can do whatever you want, as long as maybe he just wants some loving out of you, and that's it. but you want him to come and take you seriously though. But you think he gonna marry you and put you up in a house, a big mansion, and just cater to you 24, have people to give you what you want. You just, and I guarantee you, even if a woman had all of that, she's gonna still find something to complain about. You're gonna still find something to complain about, because a man, if he could provide all that for you, do all that for you, it'll usually be a man that you really don't want to be with. Let's be honest with that. It'll usually be a guy you really don't like, but he has all the things that you want. So you go and settle for that. You hear him say it all the time. I'd rather cry in a Bentley than a Toyota. Yeah. You rather cry and be miserable. You know, let's talk about this, where they always talk about, oh, these women be married for long years and they be miserable. Oh, but you clearly admit that you'd rather go with a man that you don't really like, but because he can provide you this lifestyle, you would rather cry in his Bentley because it looks good and it gives you a certain look, but you're really not truly happy. Let's keep it a buck. You're really not truly happy. You just want that look of life. You just want to feel like, you know, like you're winning. But deep down inside, you're miserable. You're miserable as hell. So what's the difference? Why is that acceptable? That's acceptable. And you want to portray your thoughts and feelings onto married couples who just telling you, hey, they've been through some things. That it's realistic to understand that if you're in a relationship or a marriage with a person for years, that y'all going to go through ups and downs. It doesn't have to be the most horrible thing ever, but you got to understand that. And you go through stuff in relationships. That's just what it is. It don't mean that it has to be the worst. But you go through stuff, you work it out because you care about each other and you work it out. But in this situation, you don't really care about the person. You just want what they can provide for you. You just want a lifestyle. You don't like them or any of that. You cringe when they come near you, but you got to do it because he's the only one that you can find to be a sucker to give you this lifestyle that you say you want. So what's the difference? I mean, you know, and so this is why I say women project on their feelings onto men. A lot of them, they project what they, you know, how they feel onto the next person. Because if you're miserable, you want to assume that others are miserable with you. You want to assume that because you're having a hard time, that everybody's having a hard time, and that's just not the case. And then as soon as you see, and they say it all the time, as soon as you see a person that's been married for years, well, I don't just look at a person that's been married for 20, 30 years and just think, oh, that's goals. Why not? You just look at it as, oh, well, I'm pretty sure he's put her through hell. It don't mean that, baby. You're sadly mistaken. It don't mean that he's put her through hell. It means that they went through some things together, as opposed to what they're putting out here now that, oh, you don't need to go through anything with a man. You just go through it by yourself. And then when you go through it by yourself, you still miserable and complaining. So what is the damn difference? So you just choose to do it by yourself without no real commitment or somebody that really cares about you, who's willing to be there with you and y'all support each other through it. No, you want to do it by yourself because that's what's been told to you, that it's better to just, I can do bad all by myself. No, you can do better if you have support and love from a person who actually cares, who's saying, look, we got to work. We going through a rough patch. We going to work it out. I love you. Yeah, you might be batshit crazy sometimes, but I love you and we going to work through it. Or you might get on my nerve with this, or we don't agree on this, but let's figure it out. Let's compromise. You would rather go through it by yourself because you don't want to compromise with nobody. You just want to, you still going through it. The single life is is nothing to aspire to be either. That is not something that I look at and be like, oh, well, you know, at least, well, she's having a hard time. You know, she's struggling, might be getting put out of her place, but she's doing it all by herself. Kudos to her. What? That's not a flex at all. Successful MD says, it's baffling that some women will take on 100% and take care of a pookie, but refuse to contribute 50% or less with the working man. Non-financial? Is that what you're saying? Look, it baffles me too, Successful MD. It baffles me too. I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. But all that to be able to run the streets and be outside and do what you want to do. Thank you once again for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. You know, it's baffling to me too. But somehow it's a flex. You know, it's a flex for women to think that, oh, because they're doing it by themselves, that's something that you should look up to and somebody should aspire to do. Oh yeah, I just want to live life by myself and I'm happy by myself. Now, like I said before, I think there may be a smaller percentage of people who are actually, you know, happy by themselves, but I don't think the majority of people are. Like the man said, look, most people, well, those singers and stuff will tell you, tell you this single life shit and this and that, but they go home and they want with a man. They secretly got somebody while you out here thinking that it's a flex to be by yourself and crying yourself at night, wishing you had somebody that loves you and cares about you. That ain't cute. Hit the like button, you guys. That ain't cute at all. All right, let's move on, y'all. Let me see. Did I play this clip already?
I didn't know it was going to take.
I did. There's another clip of this same woman. Her name is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, where she's being asked the question of why she wasn't able, you know, where's her man at, basically. But let's play it. Here we go.
4 times that you almost went down the altar.
I almost went down.
Yeah. Why hasn't it worked? And whose fault is it? Because you've been talking about accountability. You've been talking about high functioning, and you literally told me in my situation, because of the type of high functioning and low functioning people I'm choosing.
Yep.
Why hasn't it worked for you?
For the first few, I was low functioning and I was still in my healing journey. And so I law of attracted low functioning.
That happened all 4 or just the first?
The first, I would say like the first 2 or 3.
2.
Definitely low functioning of myself.
How were you low functioning that found things that where you thought this was your match, this was your person, and then it still didn't go through because you were low functioning?
I take accountability. It was my fault because I knew all of them were not my person. And so this is why I say it's not their fault, because these men wasn't no infidelity. You know, they weren't beating on me. I attract good men, but I wasn't in the space of being ready to marry them. But I needed them to be good for me, Nick, because I needed.
Okay, so that's just a little clip that I got. But what do you guys think about that? Now, I will say this. I'm gonna give my 2 cents. Y'all let me know yours in the chat. I think I will give her the fact that she seems to be accountable. She said it wasn't their fault. They were good men, but she needed it to be right for her. They were good men 4 times. You know, I guess she could have been married and it didn't work out. And my thing is this. Now, while I do agree with her and her being accountable, I will say, and you know, this is, to me, I think there's still something within a lot of women like that where you're still being unrealistic. I think anytime, I don't know if she's been engaged 4 times, if that's what they meant. And she said they were good men. I guess she was engaged to them. So you were engaged or you were in a relationship with them, but none of those men could not have been none of them were good enough for you to marry. And I think as much as we have women who appear to be accountable or may have been accountable, the fact that you're still looking for something that's probably unrealistic, in my opinion. I don't see no reason why you had 4 men that were either engaged to you or proposed to you, want to marry you, and you clearly said they were good men, and you couldn't get one of those. You couldn't marry one of them. See, this is where I still do think women still are holding out for what they think is the better option. And, you know, the older you get, you realize there's really no better option. You had all the best options possible and you passed them up. So I think even though we have women out here who are willing to seemingly be accountable and say, you know, yeah, I was wrong in that, or whatever, you're still not getting the outcomes that you might want because you're still holding on for something that you think that you just cannot settle. You still thinking you're settling. Even when you hit 40, 45, you could be, some women could be a bit overweight or whatever. You just still holding out like, hold on, I got a little more in me. You know, I know I'm the best thing since sliced bread, so I will not settle. I know that the the right, perfect man is still out there for me. I think a lot of these women are still thinking that way. And not realizing that you're lowering your options. Your options don't become more vast as you get older. They become lesser and lesser. And they still holding out. Because I did hear her in another clip where she was saying, oh, don't settle. So I think while two things can be true at the same time, you can speak some truth, but at the same time, you're not really fully getting it yourself. I just think that I think that these women really believe that they're settling and that they will find the best man that meets check every box off that they've checked, and you waiting and you just gonna be waiting, honey. You're gonna be waiting because I'm pretty sure you don't check off every box for that man. And because he's not even looking for that like that. I think a lot of men are more realistic than women. Men are more logical, more realistic. I saw a clip where they were saying, I think Anton, I was just watching Anton when he was saying, look, most men don't walk around saying that they're 10s, and they don't. That's just the truth. A lot of men don't walk around saying that they're 10s. They really don't. They're more realistic. They're more realistic and truthful to what it actually is. And a lot of our women are superficial and unrealistic and delusional, quite frankly. You don't want to call it what it really is. You don't want to see yourself as what you really are. You could be 50 years old or 60. Y'all called it out. 60-year-olds with BBLs walking around feeling like they're 25. In their minds, they're 25, still hot and fine like they were when they were 25. And even though you may feel like you're a hot 25-year-old baby, but your outward appearance shows you otherwise. I'm pretty sure, and I'm not trying to be mean, but Vivica Fox probably thinks she looked just as good as she did when she was 25. There's that picture of her before and after going around where she's standing up there. She looks swollen in the face. And the other picture, she was young and way more attractive. In her mind, she still looks like that. It's an issue. She still thinks and feels that she's as fine and as fine as she was when she was that age. I don't think she was 25 at that age. I think she was. I wish I could pull it up. But in her mind, she's still that 25, 30-year-old hot, slim chick. The look she had when she was with 50, she's still that girl. She don't see 60-year-old Vivica. And I guarantee you, baby, 60 ain't the new 35. I'm sorry, it's not. You don't have to look bad, but 60 ain't the new 35. Or 60 ain't the new 20. 60 ain't the new nothing, baby. It's just 60, child. And most men ain't checking for no 60-year-old. I'm just saying. I don't care how good you look for 60. They ain't checking for you. So we got to get out of this delusional mindset that 60 is a new 25, 35, 40. It ain't the new nothing. You got to stop thinking that. Stop being delusional. Start being more logical like most men. Look at it for what it is. I think you'll get a better outcome that way. I think you're being more realistic to me gets you further. Look how we saw this woman on the Kendra G show the other day where what I talked about, was she talking about, I identify as 33, not 34, not 44. Girl, it doesn't change the reality or the fact that you're 44. You don't look bad, but you doing that is a turnoff to men. They thinking you're Looney Tunes. So that doesn't help you. Being logical and realistic to me gets you a better outcome because now you can assess what you should be looking for and really be honest about where you are in life, who you are as a person, not what you think you feel you are, Because hell, I could feel that I'm a millionaire. I could feel that I got millions of dollars around me, and I could feel however I want. It doesn't make it a fact. I could start spending like I'm a millionaire, and I would be flat broke. But I could feel like that all day. I could feel like I got millions of dollars in the bank and start just shopping. And shopping and spend everything that I have, but I feel like I have $1 million, child, or millions of dollars. But if I start spending like I got millions, we'll all be broke. And then what? That's not going to fare well for us. It's going to be a problem. So this is why I say being delusional and unrealistic does not benefit you. It just makes it worse, in my opinion. Let's continue.
I hate working. I hate the fact that women fought to be able to work. I got 2 degrees just for decorations because I want
2 degrees?
Just for decorations because I just want to be a housewife and stay at home. You know what that reminded me of? When we had that one episode.
How many women has degrees and don't want to work?
Right.
That's the first thing. I think what she said is kind of what a lot of women are realizing nowadays. Like they wanted that option to be free of men. That's what feminism was about. They have that option, and now they see like, damn, I hated it. It's almost like when we was kids and we was rushing to be adults.
To say that. It reminds me of kids rushing to be adults, and then once you get here, you like, yeah, I should have stayed a kid.
Right. It's the delusional mindset. It's the delusional mindset. It really is, and that doesn't benefit anybody. It just makes you more and more delusional. It makes you really, and when you really start to believe that, you really messed up then. You really wholeheartedly believe that your 30 is the new 60 and you just look so good and you will not settle and you're the prize and all this stuff. You really just lost in the sauce. You really gonna have issues. And that's what's happening. And these women are walking around asking questions. Why the men don't approach us? Why I can't find a good man? You too goddamn old, damn it. You too goddamn old. And on top of that, you're delusional. And your mindset is warped. Just be real. I don't like to play around and placate and BS these people. Baby, the majority of these men ain't looking, a 60-year-old man ain't looking for a 60-year-old woman. Let's be honest. So why would you think the younger men are looking for you for committed relationships? You ready to settle and you have not been in any committed relationship or marriage your whole life, and now you 60 and you want to settle, and now your expectations are through the roof. You think men are settling for that? I really just think a lot of these women are lost. You confused. You think if you don't want to settle, you think he does? Make it make sense. Like both of y'all, he would be settling. The type of man that you want would be settling for you, but they can't see it, poor things. You can't see it. And it's and I'm not trying to be mean, no, because I'm really not. It's just when you see the delusion and you see it, it's just hard to not call it like it is. It's like, stop being delusional. There are women, older women, especially black women, who look really good, who are older. They look great. But it's the mentality that they have that I think throws the men off. You know, you 50 or 60 and you sitting and you look good, but you sitting around saying, look, what's her name? Oh my God. Not Vivica Fox, but the other one who worked with her is walking around saying, oh, she will not be with a man unless he's willing to pay all her bills. I'm like, Lisa Ray is still about 60 years old saying she cannot be with a man unless he's willing to pay all her bills. I'm like, why do y'all think this way? Who set you up? Who lied to you? Who told you that that's what men should be doing? And why do you think you still qualify for a man at your age to come in and just pay all your bills? Why do you think that? You don't think that this man has other obligations and other things that he needs? Why is it just that? Why is it at this point in time, especially at 60, you know, you're talking about you will not settle and you need a man to pay all your bills? At this point, baby, you should just, I don't understand. You don't have to settle. You could just be happy alone. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat, says we are in the era of quicksand, oil, and insanity. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. The era of quicksand, oil, and goddamn insanity. We're in the Twilight Zone, y'all. We're in an alternate damn universe. I'm serious. It feels like we are. It feels like we in an alternate universe. This can't be real. This can't be. We can't be real. It's like we in something else. This can't be real. You know. And there's something else I always wonder too. Like, why do women think, certain women, not all, think that they can go out and just bash men for real, call them dusties, call them bottom of the barrel, all of these things, and think that they're going to be endeared to you? You think that that's going to make them want to approach you? You think that's going to make them look at it and say, well, my black queen's calling me Dusty. They saying I'm bottom of the barrel, but you know what? I love them anyway. You want these men to have, you expect them to have unconditional love for the black queens, but you have no love for them. You want them, this shows you how unrealistic and one-sided they want relationships to be. This is how you want your relationship. You want to be able to tell him he ain't shit, but you still want him to praise you to the high, most high, and give you the most of everything. How does that work? You want to insult them, tell them they ain't this. You want them to rise to the occasion. And then you want to do all of this, and then you still want them, even if they do rise to the occasion, you still want them to look at you as something that's great to be with when you totally bashed them, told them all of these horrible things, made them think that they weren't much, and you want them to turn around and reward you for it? How stupid do you think they are? That makes sense. Like, you just, I mean, on the daily, you hear women, oh, black men, oh, we've divested, because they ain't this and they don't know how to do, there's one woman said black men don't know how to love. They're incapable of love. They don't know how to do this. That's very rude and insulting and just straight out, that's blasphemous. You're going to talk about, tell you black men don't know how to love, so they don't love their children. They don't love their mothers. They don't love their fathers. They don't love their family. They don't love their wives. They're incapable of loving people. That is crazy. And they just the this and that. So just get them for their money. Just get them for their money. That's why a lot of these women out here just wanting the bag. Just get in the bag. Pay my bills. Pay my rent. They don't want you. Just pay for me. The same men you say are incapable of all these things, you still looking for them for their money. So they got some money somewhere because you trying to get it. If they so bottom of the barrel and so this and don't have this and that, why you still running into ones with money and still want their money and mad because they don't want to give it to you? So who's the bottom of the barrel Dusty at this point? Is it the black men or is it the damn women who are out here expecting all this for these men? Because guess what? If you really want to call it like it is, if you out here looking for a man to pay your rent just to take you out, baby, just say you ain't got your rent money and that you the real Dusty. How about that? Let's really put this into perspective. Let's really point at who's the real Dusty and who's struggling and who ain't really got it. Because if you out here running into men that got money that just want to give it to you and you need your rent and you ain't got your light bill and you ain't got all this and you need them to pay it, girl, who's the real Dusty? That's all I'm saying. Stop projecting your own brokenness onto these men. Just because they don't want to spend all their money on you. That's not their obligation. That's not what they should be doing, period. Just like if you have sons, you don't want your sons to work hard and build himself up and go off and meet a woman and she just say, I want all your money. Give me all your money. You would want to see your son doing that. You would have a problem with that chick. Well, that chick is you. And these men don't have to give you shit. So that's just how I feel about it. I just think that it's just an unrealistic world that a lot of these women live in, and they're realizing it because they're not really getting, what they would really like to get out of these men, because men are woke. They realize that this is some BS and they don't want to deal with it. Bottom line. Yeah, entitlement is exactly what it is. Entitlements for sure. Very entitled. All right, so I want to go to this last clip, you guys, and then we're going to be out of here. We're going to go through this one, and I want to get y'all thoughts on it. Thank y'all so much for the likes. Definitely keep hitting the like button. Hit the like button, you guys. I appreciate you so far. For the super chats, you guys, I appreciate you guys for liking, for just being here. I appreciate you. Let's look at this particular video here, and let me know what you think in the chat.
I'm getting ready for bed, so I look a little crazy right now. But hey, girl,
You know you don't look crazy. Hush your mouth, girl.
You look so cute, girl.
So do you, beautiful. Welcome up.
Are we doing dating tonight?
Oh, you here for dating? Okay.
No, wait, I don't know what we here for.
Well, it's up to you. Do you have a question, or are you here for dating?
I just had a question. Okay, so I'm back on the dating scene now. How do you deal, or have you ever dealt with like the love bombing stuff? How do you deal with that?
So like someone who's calling you, texting you, want to hang out with you all the time kind of energy?
Yes, I'm talking about buying gifts, first date, leaving the city, going out of state, like doing all that, and then it's just a dry spell afterwards.
Oh, he got it already. He got it. That quick? That's wait, y'all already went on the trip?
Yeah, so okay.
And hold on. Did y'all go on the trip and did y'all do
the things?
Do the things. Don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie, because he wooed me a little bit, and it just felt different. So he got me. He got me.
Girl, now this is what I be saying. A lot of these people, they go get them education. They get the education, they get that degree, but they really don't be smart. I'm just saying. Yes, the reason clear as day. Yeah, the man took you, he did the most. Okay, that's what he do. He took you out, did all this stuff, wooed you, because he knew what he was getting. He knew what he was planning on getting in return. So he went out, did all that for you to get what he wanted. He got what he wanted. It's all a transaction, right? Women have made dating into transactional situationships. So now men who are willing to do that, they're doing it because they know what they're going to get out of it. So she played right into his hands. He took her out, wooed her. He knew he could get it like that, got her a few things, he got it like that. He could afford it, right? Did what he needed to do, got right to what he wanted, banged her up real good. And then after that, he stopped talking to her. That's what I'm saying. He hit it and quit it. He gave her what he thought she would want, just enough so he can get what he wanted. And then he moved on. That's what they're doing. I think women have turned dating into transactions. When you say you need to buy this and you need to pay for this and do that, well, in this particular situation, and I don't even have to hear anymore, but I already could tell that's what he did. He gave you he paid for what he wanted, child. It was a transactional situation. He understood he understood the how y'all say it. He understood the game. He stood on business, as a lot of these young people. He stood on business. He got what he came for. He stood on business. He wasn't playing around. He's like, I know I want this girl, so I'm going to give her what enough to give her so that I can get what I want. It was a transaction. He paid for what he wanted. He got what he wanted, and he got the hell on. Classic Perspective, how are you? Thank you so much for the super chat. Says she got Usher Raymond caught up, child. She sure did, and she got caught up. I'm sure she did. Thank you once again for the super chat, Classic Perspective. Child, Lord, let's continue though. I want to see what else she says.
Yep. And how long did that take? How long? Be honest.
Probably, I don't want to say. I feel like it sounds so bad.
She like, now that I say it out loud,
yeah,
it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I had been celibate for a while. And like I said, he wooed me, did all the, well, I ain't gonna say he did all the things, but he got me.
Did he know you were celibate?
Yes, I told him.
Child, you told him, no. Rule number one. Oh, he was like, oh, this is a challenge. I'm gonna get her.
Actually, he got me, girl. He got me.
I'm gonna get her. Okay, she's gonna be twisted up like a pretzel on that island when I'm done with her. Night one.
And it's interesting, I always say, look, okay, yeah, it's all funny and all of that, but see, the very things that make them laugh is the things that make them cry. Honey, the very thing that you laughing about, oh, it's so funny, everybody try to be nice. The very same thing that makes you cry. Later on, you realize that this is all you got. And then you end up crying, depressed and miserable and bitter because you can't get a man because this is what all they was looking at you for. That was it. Women made it into a transactional affair, and this is all you get. This is all you get. Classic Perspective says she sold a bit. Thank you for the super chat, Classic. It's just this what you end up with, and when you're ready to settle down, this is all you left with, honey. And it's funny and kiki and ha, but it's really not. It's really not. It's really not. And I said this before, a lot of these women like to be celibate, right? Just for one night, one dude to come play his part, and the boom is all over. Celibacy out the window. What's the point of being celibate if it's that easy for you to end up, giving it to one guy who wooed you and gave you a few gifts? What's the point? Is that easy? That's why nobody take that seriously. Being celibate for what? If you're not a virgin, what's the point of being celibate? You're going to give it to somebody anyway. And then he said, oh shit, okay, I got me one. Let me give her the usual, because we know she going to eat that up. We know she going to be impressed. And we know she going to be like, oh, this could be my man. No, baby, he got you. He got you. He got you. And see, these educated young women don't see that. Me, as an older woman, I see right through it. Like, come on, like, y'all so smart, you're dumb. You don't even see what the game is. You really don't, so you're not all that smart as you think you are, specifically when it comes to relationships and men and how they move and yourself, really. And it's all fun. Like I said, it's kiki, ha ha. And then when you end up 40 years old by yourself, you gonna reflect on all this, and then it makes you even more mad. And you can't say it out loud, then you probably shouldn't have been doing it. It sounds bad because it is bad. This is what it turns into. That's how they see you. He don't probably see her as nothing long term. He see her as, ooh, yeah, I want to mount her, get her, and send her on her way. And then he probably thinking, hey, I paid for that. I paid for that. So I was deserving of it. Successful MD says, just say you exchanged goods for your bid, honey. That's what it is. That's what it is, Successful MD. That's what it is. They don't want to call it what it is, but that's what it is. And don't get mad when men move accordingly. He did. That's what a lot of women say they want you. So he's just, okay. Some men are just like, I'm coming to the table with it. I know what they want. They want a few dollars for this. They want for this, for that. I'm going to come do it, and I'm going to get what I want. That's it. Move on. Let's continue.
He got me. Yeah. He got me.
Well,
what do I do now? I don't know. I know that's probably, we still text, but it's not like how it was before.
When's the last time he texted you?
So he actually texted me yesterday, but I didn't text back because I just felt like it's not giving what it needs to give. So I don't know.
But he texted you. Why didn't you say anything?
I don't know. I was being petty.
But why are you being petty? Was it because y'all was supposed to do something and he kind of canceled or moved it around, and now you're like, ugh, what was it?
How you know this?
Girl.
So I won't say he canceled. We had made plans, and I told him I was going to do something else. So he was like, well, we made plans for 4th of July, right? It didn't work out on his end that time. And then I was like, well, I'll just go with my other plans. But I didn't end up going with my other plans. So I hit him up like, hey, like, what you doing? Let's still do something. He was like, oh, well, I'm already such and such, but I'll hit you when whatever. So when he hit me, I didn't hit him back because I just didn't want to feel like, that girl that's just waiting when you come back. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, girl, that's how you play the game. That's how the game go. You're not his number one. You're not his priority. You're in rotation, boo. If you want to continue to be in rotation, he accepted you in his rotation. So when you said, I was doing something, I can't do it, he moved on with the quickness. He got other women lined up. So you couldn't do it. He ain't pressed. All right. Okay. Woo. All right. I'm out. He done went schedule something with one of his other chicks. You're not special. So how are you in your feelings? You're not special. You gave it to him the same night he took you out, and he gave you gifts. So you gave him what he wanted, and now you're not a priority. You're just one in rotation. That's just what it is. That's what it is. You didn't realize it, and now your feelings evolved because you're trying to figure out and think and wonder, why did he do this? Why isn't it the same? Well, you gave him the draws. You gave him what he paid for, and now he moving on. And if you still down, You know, whenever he feel like coming back, you open, he open too. All right, yeah. But you ain't have time for him. He moved on, got somebody else in line in rotation, and he'll come back to you if he available, and if you available, and that's that. And he gonna want to do the same thing he did the last time, and that's it. But this is not a relationship. This is a situation, hookup ship. That's it. That's it. Let's continue.
So it's like dying out. Maybe he went out with someone else for July 4th, I'm assuming.
So I talked to him and he was like, yeah, I'm just in the next city with some friends, yada, yada, yada. Like, we talked, but I was just like, boy, you out with other people. Like, I don't want to talk to you, and don't hit me up when you come back because I don't care.
You told him that?
No, but that's like the attitude.
The energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I guess the deed is done, my love. So
I'm not used to this. I was in a long-term relationship before, so all this is like, and he got me. That one, he got me.
Yep, the gifts and the trip.
Yeah,
and the trip. And then you told him you were celibate?
Yes.
That put the fire under him. Yeah, that put the fire under him.
So what do I do from here? What you suggest?
Yeah, move on.
So you still are interested in him?
I don't know, because I just feel like now I'm just like, I know that he got me because I'm smart, you know? I just, sometimes he got me. That's all I can say is he got me. I know what you did. I peeped the game. So it's like,
you peeped the game
would
too late.
still play along with him, but I'm just not interested in feeling like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm too invested. I want him to chase again.
No.
Is the thrill gone now? I don't know.
Yeah.
The thrill is gone. And y'all want
child, the thrill is gone, child. He got his thrill and he left. You know, and I say this a lot of times too. A lot of women are you like a guy to chase after you. Women like attention. They like attention. They like, a man to pursue them. There's nothing wrong with wanting somebody to pursue you, but they like the attention. Whether it's, just like the idea of a man running behind you. Whether you really want him or not. It's the idea of him running behind you is what you like. They like the attention, and then when they don't get it, they feel some kind of way. It makes them feel like they're, still guided and they're relevant or whatever. It makes them feel good. And so I think a lot of time, she says she's smart, but I think not. In my opinion, I ain't gonna say, I just realized you didn't realize the game until after it was done. Being smart would have been you peeping that ahead of time. Like, hold on, I'm not going on your yacht. I'm not going. You know what that's going to lead up to. Do what the other couple talked about to the temptation. If you know you were celibate and you know you wasn't trying to get into anything serious with a man that you just met, then do not put yourself in these positions to where you know that would happen. Go on a date that strictly requires you guys to sit and talk. Not where we cozied up on a boat or somewhere where that could go down, or at his house or anything like that, and have a conversation with him, get to know him. He will realize that, oh, you're not that kind of chick, okay? And even if he went out his way to buy you things or whatever, okay, you accept the gifts. If you do, okay, cool, and that's that. I'm not, nothing else is happening, but you made yourself available, and he did what he came to do. That's it. And so I don't know why they're so shocked after the fact. Because, and I think, I don't know. I just think there's a lot that, some of these women can learn from. You talk about men so much, but a lot of these women don't know what they're doing. Class Perspective says she's his Tuesday chick. Right. She's in rotation. Well, she was in rotation. I don't know if she still is. I wouldn't be doing that, but it is what it is. Thank you for the super chat, Classic Perspective. As Successful MD says, that Uno reverse card slapped her in the face. Right. Exactly. And she didn't realize until now she's sitting back wondering, oh, what's going on? You want him to pursue you and talk to you the way he was doing, the way he did in the first place. But he only was doing that because he know what he was after. It wasn't nothing serious. He was just doing all that to get you. Now he got you. He don't need to do all that. You played right into his hand. Exactly. The Uno reverse card slapped her right in the face. It sure did. But she didn't see it coming. Yeah. So yeah, so you didn't. He got what he wanted. Now, if she don't want to deal with him, he don't care. he's moving on to the next because he already saw what you was about. So there's nothing left for him to pursue now. This is what that was, but let's continue. It's interesting how they don't get it. This interesting how she didn't get that.
Went away for vacation, right? So that means that happened more than once.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right if it was just once, if we being grown here, but it was every day.
Wait, what you mean like it was just once? On vacation?
On vacation.
Oh, like doing the do?
Y'all were together for how long on vacation?
For like 3-4 days. He got me 2 of those days. And then we went shopping. I know this sounds so bad. I'm just telling you all my business like you my home girl.
Too many, child. Too.
I know. He got me. But I'm trying to I'm just like, I know he got me. And it's like, it feels so real though. I don't know. Like, is this what dating is about?
Yeah, I mean, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I actually liked that one. I actually liked him.
You had fun. You had a good time.
Yeah, but I know now. I'm just like, when they do that, it's like, I don't know.
But now you know. It's like you gotta slow down, Yeah. And it's like it's also too if you're not used to guys doing nice things for you, it feels really, really good when someone steps in and is doing a lot more than a bare minimum, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so, okay, I was in a long-term relationship. We had gotten engaged. We were together for all of my 20s. Well, not all of my 20s. I'm only 26. But my last relationship, we met at 18. He's a little bit older than me. And it was crazy. So that's one person that I was used to. Like, we lived together, all that. He was the provider pretty much. So it's not like I'm not used to guys doing that. But this guy, he's much older than my ex. It's like he was just doing like off a rip like that. And I have other guy friends that, same thing, but I don't know what it was about him. Like, I don't know.
He did it. You just said it. He did it off the rip. That's
Yeah,
what it was. He came out guns blazing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now, listen, and listen to, I try to listen well to what people say. And she said she had a guy that she was in a relationship long term. They lived together. He was the provider. What happened with him? And now it seems like she's just out there dangling and she's meeting guys who don't take her seriously. And, she's just sleeping with them. Her body count is rising. She said she have other guy friends who do stuff like that. So I would love to know what happened with the long-term relationship, man. Why did y'all break up? You know what I mean? Because usually when women leave a guy, this goes to show you, even if the man is the provider, if she's being honest about that, they still find ways to leave. Even if he is the provider, you still find ways to leave. And now you're out here kind of going through the motions, meeting men who don't take you seriously, who probably won't really take you as his woman or propose to you or take you seriously or any of that. And this is what it end up being. This is why they say women don't have all these options that they think they do. You just become a piece of meat to these guys. You just become a part of their rotation. You're just putting your body on display for a few gifts. That's it, because that's all it amounts to. It's not like this guy who she's talking about clearly does not want to be with her. Clearly. You just out here putting your body on display, giving him what he wants, and then he just playing y'all. And it's just, and then these women complain and be mad to my, good men out here. Well, who knows what happened in the relationship with the guy who was the provider? Like, what's going on? Now, we don't know all of the situations, but we can assume based on the information they give us. That's all we can go on. We could be wrong. I could be wrong, or I could be right. But this is what typically happens. You have somebody in your life that took you seriously and really probably wanted to be with you, but y'all was having a hard time. You leave that one, and then you end up being in a rotation of other guys who are not taking you seriously. You just become a piece of meat. That's it. And it's no wonder why a lot of these women are depressed, and then they get older and they traumatized, because that's all you've been to a man. You realize these men didn't really care about you. You were just a piece of meat to them, and that's it. And you feel bad about it when it didn't have to be that, because you want to be outside, and you want the gifts, and you want them to do not do the bare minimum, you know, and all that. So they don't do the bare minimum. They give you what you actually want. And that's that. Because you didn't say you wanted commitment or any of that. You wanted a good time. You wanted some gifts. You wanted them to take you on a nice trip, and they did just that and got what they wanted, and then it ghosted you. That's just that. So my theory is undefeated. Pookie ties equals over with. Thank you for the super chat, since that's what MD.
Yeah. Okay. So just slow down.
Yeah, he probably, that says to me too, he has money.
Yeah, he does.
If he's doing that for a girl he doesn't know, he does that often. He does that a lot.
That's why I'm shocked, because I'm not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, damn. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said he was a trick daddy. Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
I'm not used to the trick. I'm used to provider men, yes. But I'm not used to the trick daddies.
He said the trick daddy but you got tricked, so it ain't a trick daddy, Jack.
Trick me. That sounds
ain't
so
no
bad.
trick daddy. Yeah.
Damn. He got just slow down, I guess.
Yeah, slow down. And it's up to you, like how you move forward. I still feel like, you know.
You think I should still talk to him?
Girl, you have to ask that question.
I mean, he texted you. You didn't respond back.
I know.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Why would you?
I mean, y'all saying no. She already crossed the line with him. She went on vacation and everything.
But
what is there to lose at this point? If I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then that's another thing.
I'm just saying talking. I didn't say lay up with him again. But
no, I do.
Why would you talk to him though? Why would you even talk to him?
What would you do, girl? Help.
I wouldn't talk to him. They really be lost.
Number one, you wouldn't be on vacation month 1, 2 weekend. Right. We wouldn't be. Ain't no vacation, baby. Right. No. That would be a no.
And I was kind of bored too. I was going through, like I said, I've been dating, but I was going through a dry spell. Nobody was exciting me really. And yeah.
Understandable. Like you just wanted, you wanted to lay up, cuddle, blah blah blah.
No, it's not. I didn't even want to lay up and cuddle. It wasn't even that. It was just like, I don't know. I feel like it was a genuine connection there.
Well, what? Look, if you felt like it was a genuine connection, why did you sleep with him? See, that's what I'm saying. It's a transactional thing, and they don't even realize it. A lot of the women who are saying it out loud, they're just saying it out loud. But this is the mindset of a lot of these particular women who really think that a man's supposed to be like catering to them and doing all these things, because you know that you probably gonna sleep with him. You know that you probably gonna sleep with him, especially if you are attracted to him. So, you knowing that you're saying you expect more out of him because you know you're gonna give him the draws. So you like, well, you need to take me to this expensive restaurant. You need to take me to these expensive things. You need to buy me some gifts. You need to do something in a bare minimum because you're gonna want sex from me. So I think they set themselves up for it, and they're not really saying it out loud. There are some women who are just saying it out loud. Look, hey, you want to take me out? Pay my rent. Do this, do that, because you probably gonna want to have sex with me. And if you're attractive to her, she knows she's gonna give it up. That's just how easy it is. So, and the men who come like that, they know it's easy. They know exactly what to do to get what they want from these women. The men who are in that game and playing that game, they know exactly what to do. They know it's not really much that they have to do, but because these women are talking about the bare minimum, they think the bare minimum it must be super, super low. So if a man just buy you something and pay for the meal, oh, that's enough. And you going home with him, and that's all he got to do until next time. I don't understand why they don't see it. If you're really trying to get to know somebody and you really really like them, then why are you settling for that? They say they will not settle, but you settle for a guy quickly, and boom, he got you on a boat, tearing it up, and now you sitting back going through all these emotions and trying to figure out what's going on when he done moved on, child. Girl, he done moved on. He'd probably been with several other women at this point. He not checking for you unless you're ready to go lay up again. If you don't want to do that, you'll see how quickly he'll move on from you, take you out of the rotation, honey. And now he moved on. That's just that.
Now I'm like, was he like? Now I know the whole love bombing thing. I'm like, was he just love bombing or was it real? That's why I'm like, should I still talk to him or not?
It's up to
No.
you. You have to decide that. I mean, he texted you. That's the thing. He didn't ghost you. He texted you.
No, he didn't ghost. He didn't ghost. But I still feel like he wasn't chasing how he was before.
Right.
Yeah, but I know. Okay, maybe I'll still take some, and then
And someone has said it's the game. Yeah, that's a part of the game. For some men, most men, especially if they have it.
Yeah.
If they have it, they can spend it.
Yeah. Damn, that's so crazy. All right. Well, I guess I'll keep you updated. I don't know if I want to take.
Girl, you don't. If you want to play around, then yeah, you probably will text him or talk to him or whatever. But if you're not for the shenanigans, nah, I wouldn't recommend you talk to him. If you're looking for something more serious, leave him alone. He clearly don't want you. No, and why do they call it love bombing? I just don't see that. It's just a game. You're playing a game. You fell right into his gameplay, and that's that. I don't understand why they don't get it. You know, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of these women are so educated and so smart on one hand, but you can't see when a man is playing you. You can't see through that. Why are you so you play right? You give them exactly what they want. You play right into his hands, and he know it. And she's sitting here. He don't want you seriously, honey. He's only there for the loving. If you're willing to give it to him, then that's it. He'll buy you a few things. Like she said, he got the money and he can play those games. He gonna play them because he know y'all are easy to fall for him. That's just that. Successful MD says the connection was genuine. Pay for play. Exactly. He liked what he saw for what he wanted, and he got it. He gave you what he thought you wanted, and you were happy with it. And then you were like putting in his hands, and he got what he wanted. And if he liked it enough, yeah, he'll text you and he'll do it again if you let him. The minute she say, "Oh no, I'm not trying to sleep with you. Let's just get to know each other," you'll see him be like, "Ah, nah, I'm not really ready for a relationship. I'm not really." You'll see, or he'll play that too if he want to get more sex from you. He'll play that too. He'll play like he, and that's just it. But women got to be a little bit more smarter and not fall for these types of games. Because I'm clearly aware that men play games just like women do. Women play games, men play games. They all play games. But it's up to you if you don't want to be a part of that gameplay, that you be smarter and peep what's going on and not fall for the okie doke. That's just that. So that is it, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Once again, make sure you guys are supporting the channel by watching the videos that are already posted. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Also hit the like button and share the videos that are already posted on the channel, you guys. Make sure you also hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos or go live. Also, make sure you go over and subscribe to my other channel if you haven't already, you guys. That will definitely be appreciated. Shout out to everybody, and thanks to everybody who gave super chats and cash apps, who supports the channel in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, and if you are in the building and you like the content, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, it is free to subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. That is it for this particular live stream. I appreciate you guys once again. Y'all be safe out here in these streets, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Mwah. Bye.